How would you describe a Telecaster to somebody who's never played guitar before? It's like a reliable old 4x4. It's never left you stranded on the side of the road and always brings you home safe at night. It's like your grandpa's old lever action 30-30. He used that to put meat on his family's table when money was tight, still shoots straight as an arrow to this day. It's like the perfect woman. Does she have the prettiest top, the best curves, the most features? No. But she's reliable, she's loyal, she's hardworking, and she's got tone for days. Let's get started. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. For today's video, we are going to be comparing an American Standard Telecaster versus the American Deluxe. So we're going to do a complete breakdown of these two awesome Teles and hopefully help you guys figure out which one would be best for you. So what can we say about the Telecaster? This was the world's first solid body electric guitar that was mass produced. Prior to this were big body jazz guitars with pickups. There was a few lap steel style instruments, but this was the world's first mass produced electric guitar, and it was released in 1950. Now right from the beginning, the Telecaster was supposed to be called a broadcaster, but Gretsch had that name trademarked for a set of drums, so Leo Fender had to abandon it. Now the earliest Telecasters or broadcasters were Esquires, so they did not have a neck pickup, and they also ran into trouble because the earliest ones didn't have truss rods, so the necks on them bent right away and had to be recalled. So after Fender ran into legal trouble with Gretsch, all they did is clip off the broadcaster decal off the headstock, leaving Fender. Now this era is known as no-casters because it didn't have the name. These are extremely rare and extremely valuable. So this brings us up to 1952, and the Telecaster name was adopted, and the Tele as we know it was born, and it has been in production ever since really 1950 up till now, which is almost 70 years. Fast forward to the late 60s. Rock and roll is in its full swing. Bands are starting to favor guitars with humbuckers. They're quieter operation because they're using louder volumes and more distortion. And so Fender needed an answer to the Les Paul and other guitars like that. Thus, the Tele Deluxe was born. Now, Leo Fender's bread and butter had always been the single coil pickup, but he needed humbuckers in a Telecaster. So he hired Seth Lover, who had formerly been working with Gibson to develop the humbucker, to design something for his Telecaster. And that's when the wide range Tele pickup was born. Now fast forward once again to current day. So we don't have the wide range pickups. They're extremely rare. They're very hard to produce, and aftermarket companies that make something very similar cost, hundreds and hundreds of dollars per pickup, $300 or $400 per pickup. So they're not very practical for most people. Enter Tim Shaw and the Humbuckers, another legend in pickup making. So what we're going to do today is compare these Humbuckers versus a traditional single coil. Alright, so we've given a brief history of both of these instruments, the American Standard with its lineage going back to 1950 and the American Deluxe going back to the early 70s. So what we're going to do is do a playing comparison for you guys to see which one might be best for your playing style. Alright, let's start the audio comparison with the neck pickup. Now this Tele has a little trick up its sleeve. It's got a 4-way switch installed, which means we're going to listen to 3 different neck positions. We're going to have regular single coil, then we're going to have the Humbucker on the Tele Deluxe. Then we're going to come back to this guitar and go to the 4-way switch and hear its humbucker sound. All right, let's take a listen. now that we've heard these guitars in isolation, let's throw them in a mix. It's always interesting to see if the same pickups you like in isolation will be the same ones that you like in a mix. So let's take a listen and see which ones you guys prefer. All right, so some final thoughts on these two guitars. Let's start with the Tele Deluxe. A really cool guitar, gives you that vintage 70s look and no 60 cycle hum. These pickups are quiet, they're low noise, and they do a decent job of chiming. I think the neck pickup is one of my favorite all-time pickups. Just sounds great. It's not too muddy, but still gives brightness and fullness. Really great pickup. I'm not a huge fan of the bridge pickup. I find it exceedingly bright, and these pickups are not potted. So if you play like with high volume and lots of distortion, you're gonna get some ungodly squeals out of this guitar. So it's not good. So if you play with a lot of high gain, you're gonna either have to replace the pickups or find a different guitar. And now for the Y2T, which is what I call this American standard because it was made in the year 2000 and it's a Tele, so I call it my Y2T. But anyway, yeah, it's got 18 years of honest wear on it, just a workhorse of a guitar, one of my favorites. I think the four-way switch does add a lot of versatility, gives you a nice thick sound. Unfortunately, there are no hum canceling positions on the Tele. Even if Fender started doing some reverse wound ones, so the regular position 2 would be hum canceling, that would be great. Other than that, one of my favorite instruments. Yeah, just like I said, a workhorse, never lets you down, simplicity and great tone. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below which Telecaster you preferred. Did you like the Deluxe or the regular single coil standard? And if you have a Tele, drop it in the comments below too. I'd like to know which model you guys ended up buying. All right, have a great week, you guys. You can subscribe to the channel, see the tab store, and watch a couple other videos. I'll put that on the screen right now. Take care, you guys. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.